Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. JJ and I are joined by Keene State alum and part of the 2015-16 Sweet 16 team. It's Nate Stitchell. How you doing, Nate?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We're watching Keene State against Southern Maine right now, up by 25 at halftime. What are some things you've seen? I know you've been to a couple games this year. What are some things you've seen from this year's team?
Just guys moving the ball, guys playing together, team rebounding, trying their best to get out and run, not dwell on mistakes that are happening. I think that's a big thing with this team is they're able to move on from, turnovers or maybe misreads on defense. So I think that's helped them a lot.
What memories do you immediately think of whenever you step back in this gym from your playing days?
Oh, man. I remember my recruiting trip here during the summertime with Coach Colbert. I remember the first time meeting Coach Keene as he got introduced as the interim coach. We all were sitting up there, and I remember him saying that we'd be standing in the middle of the floor, heading to a Final Four. And it was a little unbelievable at the time just where the program was. But then through my senior season, really realizing that, that was something that was his goal, and he made that our goal as well. So just tons of memories, tons of times being in here by myself during the summers, just grinding in here, man. Like, I know this gym like the back of my hand, and I love being in here. It's like therapy.
So congratulations on it's really cool. And, you were a transfer from, I believe it was Mercy College, right, New York, Division II team. You come here to a Division III school. What were some of the different culture? What were some of your expectations coming in, knowing what it was like playing D2?
So, I mean, I really didn't have much expectations. I guess I could say I knew that they weren't that good the year prior to me coming in. And then when I did come in, I expected us to kind of be like this grinding team that wanted to be better, and I found a lot of guys that were a little complacent where they were. Obviously, this is like a party school, so a lot of guys were hanging out more than they were in the gym. So, trying to help change that culture was something that I expected to do coming in, and I think myself and other guys helped do that.
Did you come in here expecting to be a leader or expecting to be on a team that would end up going as far as you guys did, or is that something that just came natural to you? Is that something that you grew up having? You were just a natural leader, and you were able to lead a team like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I didn't come in here thinking that I was going to lead the team per se. Yes, I was a starting point guard at a Division II school prior to, but some things happened, and I didn't get that start and roll right away. So my mindset changed, where instead of focusing on the team, I started to focus on myself and what I could add to the team. And how I can mesh with those guys. And as my time went on here, I realized, the community, the support we had, the fan base, the staff, the coaches, the players, like everything kind of just made it more and more real that we had a legitimate chance to do something special like we did and pass that on to the next teams.
And you just spoke about trying to better yourself and work better. You're coming into your senior year. You started off firing. You clearly worked on yourself, worked on your game.
Yeah.
32 against Green Mountain, 27 against Endicott to start your senior year. After those two games, what were you feeling? Were you feeling like this is the work I put in, this is what I'm going to do from here on out? Or what was the mindset with that?
So, playing Division II, I obviously had some college basketball experience. I knew that the scout wasn't out on me, so take advantage of the opportunity that I had, right? Like, everybody knows that somebody has, 30 points one game. The next game you play him, you're going to be watching that guy. So I was really trying to take advantage of the opportunity that I had. New coach, new structure, new players. Obviously, me being not a new player to the team, but somebody who is now going to have a different role, a new role. So now guys are realizing that, okay, who is this kid? We're still figuring it out. So I worked on myself, I worked on my game, and it really was just kind of all translated to the beginning of the season. And yeah.
This is a question that we asked Alphonse, but I'm curious to get your opinion on it too. So I assume you've been watching this team throughout the season.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. If you could compare yourself to a player on this team, who would you say reminds you of the way that you played the most?
That's a great question. So it's like a mixture. So I'd say the energy and the tenacity like Nate, but then the heart like Jeff and the leadership like Jeff. You know, that's something I pride myself on, is just having heart, effort, right, intensity every game. The points are great, you know. It's also you pull them up. The points are great, and they'll
both got them.
yeah, and they'll always be great. But you know, one thing I remember here is just being able to work so hard for the same goal with the guys that I loved, and being able to get other guys motivated enough to want to do that. And that was really, you know, where I see myself. Like I said, Nate, you know, he's up and down the floor. Jeff is just, I mean, massive heart and effort when he plays, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's a good combination of players to have.
Yeah, right. Not a bad two.
And you talk about the tenacity of Nate. There's a lot of guards on this team, and a lot of them play the exact same way. They're ferocious. They're up in your face defensively. They're not going to back down. And you were a part of Coach Kane's first couple of teams here. Was that something coming in that he specifically recruited you for to come here, or do you think you just brought that because it was part of his system and you wanted to play?
Yeah, so Coach Kane didn't recruit. Coach Kane really didn't recruit me. Okay. It was more Coach Colbert. And then, like, you know, during the summer, Coach Kane came for his interview and came here. And then I think he just realized, again, through the work ethic while we were here during summer camp, I was in the gym every day. I think that is something. Coach is a very hardworking man. He has a massive passion for the game, and I think that's something where we kind of instantly, you know, formed a bond on, is that our effort is going to be maximum every single day. And then just kind of the rest just was history. Is like, I didn't care what it was. I didn't care about the 32 points. I could have 0. There's a lot of games in there, right, that I have 2 points that were very significant games that those are some of my best games in my opinion, because I focused strictly on what we needed to do to win the game. And, you know, like I said, a mixture of like how Coach Kane is, and then how I was, it was like a perfect fit.
So this is just a question I want to be able to get in your head of who you were as a player. Would you rather have 20 points or 15 assists?
Oh man, so that's a good question. So yeah, I would say 15 assists. I'm a major team guy. I've never been someone just like strictly about myself, especially when it comes to basketball. It takes a team effort, whether it's someone setting me a screen for me to get open, right? And growing up, I was more of a point guard. I kind of had to take on that role because we had a lot of injuries early on in my senior year. We started off hot, and then we went to UMass Boston in the same game. Dizelle Wright went down with the ACL injury. He was our 2-guard or 3-guard at the time, you know, one of the starting guards. And then Lucas broke his hand. So, you know, I had to really adjust my game. It was a combination of people not, you know, the conference not knowing me, but it was also me, you know, adjusting my game to, okay, we need a little bit more scoring, so I'm going to bring that. And once I brought that, I drew the attention, then I could do other things.
Okay, perfect. And we got to know you a little bit. You got to talk about both teams. It was great to, you know, talk and meet you. So this has been Nate Stitchell with JJ and I. And Nate, have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tipping at it, rebounded by Jeff Lund, and Stitchell going to throw up a prayer at the buzzer. That one's good, and they'll count it. Yes, what a play there by Stitchell, throwing it up. So at halftime, it is going to be 43-29. Keene State heading into the locker room, and what a way to go in the locker room. That's going to give them a boost for sure.
Oh, they're fired up. That's the way to end the half. Everyone's jumping up, running into the locker room. That is how you finish the first half, and a great first half play by Keene State.
Absolutely there. So what a play there by Stitchell.